Trae Young just destroyed Patrick Beverley in one of the coldest clapbacks we've ever seen. Both players may have one conference finals appearance on their resume, but here's the dagger. Trae did it in his third year with the Atlanta Hawks, while Beverly needed 9 seasons just to touch that stage. That's not a debate, that's domination, and Trae didn't stop at the playoff resume. He tore into Beverly's numbers, 7 points, 2 assists per game, and asked the brutal question, what exactly have you ever won on your own? Then he went for the jugular, listing every Hall of Fame teammate Pat Bev has ever leaned on. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Dwight Howard. According to Trae, Beverly wasn't leading, he was being carried. When Beverly claimed All-Stars take the game for granted, Trae fired back, only All-Stars can speak for All-Stars. He made it clear he was never scared of Patrick Beverly's so-called defense, and he's not scared now. This isn't just NBA drama, it's a generational clash. A superstar versus the loudest role player in the league. And right now, Trae Young owns the mic. Trae Young just put Patrick Beverley on blast, and the numbers back it up. Beverly has built his career on defense and energy, but when you actually look at the stats, the story changes. 7 points per game, 2 assists per game. That's not the production of a game changer, it's the output of a role player, and Trae made sure to remind him of that. Young didn't shy away. He asked the question that cut straight to the heart of Beverly's legacy. What have you won? Not what teammates carried you to the playoffs, not what Hall of Famers bailed you out, but you. What did Patrick Beverley actually accomplish as the leader of a team? The answer? Nothing close to what Trae Young has done as the face of the Atlanta Hawks. And that's the real contrast. Trae has already led his team deep into the postseason, putting franchises on notice. Beverly, he celebrated play-in wins like they're championships. The reality is clear. Trae Young is producing, while Patrick Beverley is just talking. This isn't personal, it's facts. And in the NBA, numbers don't lie. Trae Young just dropped one of the most savage reality checks Patrick Beverley has ever heard. He reminded everyone that Beverly's entire career has been spent standing next to Hall of Fame talent. Think about the names: LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Dwight Howard. The list reads like an all-NBA roster, not a supporting cast. And Trae's point was crystal clear. With teammates like that, why does Beverly only have one conference finals appearance to show for it? If you're supposed to be a winner, if your whole identity is impacting winning, then why hasn't all that Hall of Fame help turned into actual hardware? Instead, Trae flips the narrative. He reminds the world that while Beverly was getting carried by MVPs and future legends, he himself was leading the Atlanta Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals by year 3 with no superstar sidekick to lean on. That's the difference between being the guy and being the guy who just talks. Patrick Beverley built his brand on defense and energy. Trae Young just exposed that brand as smoke and mirrors propped up by Hall of Fame teammates. Trae Young didn't just clap back at Patrick Beverley's stats. He went straight after his celebrations, and this is where it gets disrespectful. Trae called out Beverly for standing on the scorer's table after a play-in win, like it was an NBA championship. Think about that, a play-in win at home, treated like the finals. Now contrast that with Trae Young's resume. He's walked into hostile arenas on the road, silenced the crowd, and pushed his team into the playoffs when it mattered most. We all remember Madison Square Garden, ice cold, bowing to the fans after eliminating the Knicks. That's not a play-in game, that's playoff pressure. That's legacy building. So when Trae mocks Beverly's so-called winning moments, he's really drawing a line between real postseason success and empty hype. Play-in games aren't the peak of competition, they're just the entry ticket. And yet Beverly treats them like banners in the rafters. Trae's message is clear: celebrate when you've actually accomplished something. Don't confuse play-in wins with playoff greatness. Because while Beverly was busy pretending, Trae was busy producing. This is the difference between a role player's dream moment and a franchise player's reality. Trae Young drew the line in the sand when Patrick Beverley accused All-Stars of taking the game for granted. To Trae, that was the ultimate disrespect. His message was simple: only All-Stars can speak on what it means to be an All-Star. If you've never earned the honor, you don't get to define the standard. And then came the knockout punch. Trae reminded Beverly that nearly every single win in his career came while being carried by elite teammates: LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Dwight Howard. That's a Hall of Fame lineup, and yet the result, one single conference finals run. Trey made it crystal clear. Beverly's reputation as a winner isn't built on his own shoulders. It's built on the backs of legends. Without those stars, there is no winning narrative, no Pat Bev effect. So when Beverly tries to speak on All-Stars, Trey sees it for what it is. Empty criticism from a role player who has never carried the weight of a franchise. The truth is, Trae Young is the one being asked to define greatness. Patrick Beverley was just along for the ride. Trae Young didn't just challenge Patrick Beverley's resume, he went after his identity. Beverley has spent his entire career building the image of a fearless lockdown defender, the guy who hounds stars from tip-off to the final buzzer. But Trey shattered that myth in one sentence. "I was never scared of Patrick Beverley." That's a dagger to the heart of Beverly's brand. His whole reputation is being the defender no one wants to face. Yet here's Trae Young, an all-star, a franchise player, saying flat out, "Your defense never rattled me, your energy never broke me, and your presence on the court never shifted the game." And when you look at the matchups, the evidence backs Trae. Despite Beverly's intensity, Trae has always found ways to score, to create, and to control the tempo. The Hawks' offense never slowed down because of Pat Bev. This isn't just trash talk, it's a statement. Trae Young is fearless. He's not intimidated by a role player's bark when his bite never left a scar. For all the talk about toughness, Trae showed that real toughness is producing under pressure, not just talking loud. In Trae's eyes, Patrick Beverley was never the nightmare defender people claimed. Patrick Beverley didn't just question Trae Young's stats. He went deeper, accusing him of being selfish, a poor leader, and the kind of player teammates don't enjoy playing with. That's a heavy charge, and one that can stick if a star doesn't fight back. But Trey didn't back down. He fired off a rebuttal that makes Pat Bev's words sound hollow. NBA cinema breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got Beverly framing Trey as a ball hog, someone who hunts shots instead of building chemistry. But then you hear Trey's side. He points to his conference finals run, his ability to lead the Atlanta Hawks as a franchise cornerstone, and the reality that he's accomplished more in a few years than Beverly has in an entire career. Trey flipped the script. Instead of defending his leadership, he exposed Beverly's lack of it. He asked the tough question, if Pat Bev is such a winning player, where are the results when he isn't surrounded by Hall of Fame talent? At the end of the day, Beverly's critique may get headlines, but Trey's response lands harder. Stats, context, and receipts don't lie. The clash between Trae Young and Patrick Beverley isn't just about personal shots. It opens up a bigger conversation about the NBA today. The All-Star game, once a showcase of pride and competition, has become a source of frustration for fans. Beverly's criticism that stars don't take it seriously strikes a chord. But Trey's rebuttal is just as valid. Only all-stars can speak for what it means to play on that stage. And when we zoom out, the spotlight falls back on Trey. His offensive strengths are undeniable. Elite passing, deep shooting range, and the ability to shred defenses in the pick and roll. But his defensive limitations are equally real, and that's where Atlanta's roster construction matters. Surrounding Trey with versatile defenders, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, and Kristaps Porzingis on the back line could balance his weaknesses. If the Hawks stay healthy, they've got a real shot to make noise in the Eastern Conference. With teams like the Celtics, Knicks, and Pacers shifting their identities, the window is cracked open. The question isn't whether Trey can put up numbers. We know he can. The question is whether Atlanta can turn his brilliance into deep playoff runs.